What is a virtual machine? Virtual machine is a software that provides the features of the real machine, such as our computer or laptop. So we can install any operating system on that virtual machine. We simply install that virtual machine software on our Windows, and Windows is our host operating system, and any operating system is installed in that virtual machine called guest operating system. So here is our computer or our actual machine, and here is our host operating system, such as Windows, Mac, or any other operating system that you mainly use. This is our virtual machine software that we install in our host operating system. Then, we install our guest operating system inside of that virtual machine. Actually, using a virtual machine is much more secure than using our main machine, because simply, if there is a malware or virus in our guest operating system, it will only affect our guest machine, and it will not affect our host machine or operating system. Because the virtual machine works as a box, and the operating system inside of that box is separated from our host machine. The other security benefit here is that if our guest operating system is affected by malware or under attack by hackers, we can simply remove our guest operating system and reinstall it again. Or we can restore it to a previous state, as some of the virtual machine softwares provide that great feature. There are many virtual machine softwares such as VirtualBox, VMware, Peril, but here we're going to use VirtualBox software because it is open source and it provides all the features for free, especially the snapshot feature that is used to restore our guest operating system to a previous state in case it is attacked by other hackers. Or we configure something mistakenly, so we can just restore it using the snapshot feature in just a few seconds. Hello! In this lecture, I'm going to show you how to install VirtualBox on your Windows machine. So here, first, we go to the official website for VirtualBox, because we know that VirtualBox is an open source software and it's made by Oracle, and we need to download it from it because it will be much more secure. So here in this web page, I will attach this link to the lecture resources, and we go to downloads. We click on downloads here. And then you see here, this is the latest version of VirtualBox, and we can download VirtualBox for Windows hosts, OS X, Linux, distributions, Solaris, and so on. For OS X and Linux distributions and the other here operating systems, I will attach a link for each of them to show you how to install VirtualBox on OS X or Linux distributions. But in this lecture, I'm going to show you how to install VirtualBox on your Windows machine. So we simply click on this link, okay? And then we will start downloading it right here. Now I downloaded VirtualBox and it's been downloaded in this directory, but I moved it to a new folder in here. And I simply just click on it, double click on it as normal. And if it asks you for administer access, approve that access. And now here it's being installed. This is here the installation wizard, like any other software you install it on your machine or your Windows machine. And I simply click on next here. And as you see here, the custom setup. You can here change this configuration and choose what's the best for you. Like here, VirtualBox networking, USB support, and so on. It is always recommended to leave them as they are because it is much better. And here, you install it in the C here drive. And simply click on next. And here is the options. It just depends on your preferences here, but it's recommended to leave them as they are. All of these options you need, so it's just recommended to leave them as they are. And simply click on next. Here is just a warning that your internet will be disconnected for really non-noticeable amount of time. Simply just click on yes. And here, you're ready to install it, simply click on install and wait for it to be installed. Now it's here installed for us, and once you click on finish by checking this checkbox, you will start VirtualBox. And now here, as you see, you already have a virtual machine, and you just need to install here your operating systems on it. So you simply here, for example, you will create a different multiple virtual machines in here, and each virtual machine has an operating system inside of it. Not only you can install operating system, you can install firewalls and a lot of things you can do just with the VirtualBox. In the next lecture, I will show you how to install Kali Linux. See you in the next lecture. Bye-bye. Hello. In this lecture, I'm going to show you how to install Kali Linux. Kali Linux is the most advanced penetration testing distribution. And by using Kali Linux, you are going to be secure because you're going to use it on the VirtualBox, and whatever affect your Kali Linux will not affect your hosting machine. So we're gonna install Kali Linux on our VirtualBox. So simply here we click on download, and here we're gonna install virtual machines. Click on it, and then we scroll down automatically till this part, virtual machines, and you see here VMware and VirtualBox. We installed already VirtualBox, and you see here 32-bit and 64-bit. So you need to check the system type in your PC. If you're using Windows 10, simply we click on this startup menu and just search for this PC. Okay? And here you see this PC. If you're using an older version of Windows, for example Windows 7, simply you search for my PC or my computer and you will find the icon of this. And then you need to right click on it and click on properties. And you see here system type in here. And you see here 64-bit. So my PC system type is 64-bit. If your PC system type is 32-bit, you will find it here 32-bit. Alright? So we go back here and I choose 64-bit due to my system type. And I click on VirtualBox. And it will start downloading it for me. So I wait for it to be downloaded. Now it's been downloading here, as you see, in this location. And I just simply need to import this image to my VirtualBox to have a Kali Linux virtual machine. So I need to open VirtualBox now. As you see here, I open VirtualBox just by double click on it. If you found the VirtualBox icon in your desktop, simply double click on it and then you will open VirtualBox. And I simply here click on import. And I need to click on this icon, folder icon, to choose my Kali Linux. And then I need to go to the folder where I downloaded the image of Kali Linux. Here you see, this is it. Simply I just double click on it and click on next. And here you see all the options are already set by them, and I don't need to change anything in here. I can change that later, but if you want to change now, you simply double click here and you can set the RAM. So here the amount of RAM or amount of memory will be allocated or assigned to this virtual machine. Simply leave them as they are and we can change those later on from the settings. And here, machine base folder. Make sure that the machine base folder is not in the C drive, because simply if it is in the C drive, the size of that machine will be increased by time, and then your C drive could be full without your notice, and that could crash your hosting Windows machine. So to avoid that, we simply need to change our base folder machine to any other drive that has really good amount of space. So simply here, I click on this bottom arrow and other, and I choose any other drive in here. And I simply click on select folder, and it will be installed on this drive. But it's recommended to choose a folder. Okay, so here I click on new folder, and I say here, for example, XI-virtual machine. And then select folder, here, select folder, and then click on import. Here, it's just license agreement. Simply click on agree. and wait for it till it be imported to your VirtualBox. Now here we have it installed. In the next lecture, we're going to configure it and then start it. See you in the next lecture. Bye-bye. Now we need to make sure that everything is set properly in our virtual machine in order for it to work properly without no issues. So here simply, I just click on it, only one click, and then click on settings in here, and we start from general. Simply here in the basic tab, in the name here, you can change it to any name you want. I change it here XI. Okay? In here type Linux and Debian, and you do not need to change this because this is the right choice. Automatically set by the image that we just downloaded. And here we go to the advanced tab, and you see here shared clipboard and drag and drop. For security reasons, this is not secure at all, because bidirectional means that you can copy and paste or drag and drop from your hosting machine to your gas machine, and from your gas machine to your host machine. And that is actually a security misconfiguration that can be used by hackers in order to spread their malwares or spread their attacks. So it's better always to choose this option, host to guest, and here host to guest. Means that you can copy from your host machine to your guest machine only. And the same works with the drag and drop in here. Okay, and then we go to the description here, and disk encryption, these steps are not important for us. When it comes to the disk encryption, I do not recommend it because you might forget the password. This actually encrypts your virtual disk that you created already while you're actually installing or importing this image. If you forgot the key, you will never be able to retrieve this back even with the snapshot feature. So here we set the settings in here in the general. We go to system here section, and in the motherboard tab here, you see the base memory. And I can increase the memory here, the RAM here, till this number. So you always play around with the green part, because if you increase it more than that, it will make your hosting machine slow. So I set it with 8 for now. Okay, you can set it here for 2 and more. Your machine will work properly and it will be fast, but I set it here with 8. And here you see here the boot order. If you're familiar with the boot order while you actually open up your laptop or your PC, you instantly see that you go to the Windows machine directly because the boot order set here the hard disk that hosts your operating system, your Windows operating system installed on. That is why you see it's booted from the hard disk automatically. But if you set the boot order, for example, from the optical, it will look for the CD. If it didn't find any CD or DVD inserted, then it will go for the hard disk. That is why if you set or prioritize the optical here first, and then you insert a CD, it will start running the CD first, then go to the hard disk. So if you want to install, for example, a new operating system or a new Windows machine, then it will start running from the optical here or from the DVD drive automatically. And we don't need the floppy network here, ignore that. And you see here this feature, extended feature. Here it is very important to make this checked because without it, your virtual machine will not work properly, because this helps to make things faster. And you see here input out APIC EPIC, which stands for Advanced Programmable Interrupt Controller. Briefly, this is all about prioritizing the interrupts and processing. So this will help to make things faster. You make sure this is checked. And when we go to the processor here, you see I have only 2. I can increase to up to 3 or 4. But don't go in here because this will cause your hosting machine to be slow. So I simply here make this in 3 and make sure that this is enabled. The PAE here stands for Physical Address Extension. This simply will make the 32-bit system type can extend its capability to work for more than 4 GB. So in here, if we want to this PC in here and right click and properties, you see here that my system type, as I showed you before, is 64-bit. But if my system type is 32-bit and I set this feature in here PAE, then I'm able to make my 32-bit work and read more than 4 gigabytes up to 64 gigabytes. So the 32-bit, by the way, is able to work on 4 gigabytes RAM only, not more. But the 64-bit can work a lot more than the 4 gigabytes. Alright, so because my system type here is 64-bit, it can read more than 4 gigabytes. Now you see here is 16 gigabytes. But if my system type is 32-bit, I will only see here 4 gigabytes, even if I have 16 gigabytes RAM already installed. But when it comes to here, the PAE very required. It's not related to the 32 or 64-bit in here, but all the operating system, Debian-based operating systems, okay, like Kali Linux or Ubuntu, they require this option to be enabled in order for them to boot up or work properly. Because without this feature, your virtual machine will not work. Make sure that this is checked. Alright, so now we want to system here an acceleration and make this enable because this will make things faster, nested paging, and this is like another feature that will help to accelerate your processing and then makes things work more smoothly and much faster. And when it comes to display here, leave everything as it is, don't change anything here, and storage here, no CD already and or attached. And here in the network, you see a lot of network types here. I can go through all of them, but that will make your virtual machine connected to your hosting machine within a virtual wire, okay? That's all now about configuring. Let's click on OK. And now everything has been set, and my machine now is set with an XI. Let me run it now. And you see here now it's booting up. And you see the screen here is small. It's not fit to the whole screen here or the whole window. If you want to set with the whole window in here, simply go to view. And here you have a scale mode. Scale mode here will make this frame fit this window. And full screen will make this work in the full screen. Okay. However, it's better always to choose this. I'm more comfortable with the scale mode. If you're more comfortable with the full screen mode, it's yours. But remember this shortcut. The host here means the right control button, then the button C in your keyboard to enter the skill mode or exit the skill mode. So I just press on it and now maximize it again. You see, it's scaled with this window. If I'm pressing here the right control button, then C, I'm exiting the scale mode here, as you see. If here, control C, now I enter the scale mode. Okay? And here the default username and password for Kali is Kali and Kali. And then enter. Here I log in as Kali user in here. But by having the default username and password, it's not secure at all. You have to change that, and we will learn how to change the password later on. In the next lecture, I will show you how to install the extension pack. It is very important to enable really important features. And then I will show you how to create a snapshot, and we need to change the password, and then you can create another snapshot after changing the password, and then you need to delete the snapshot that you took while you're having the default username and password for Kali. This is just for security reasons, but first it's recommended to create the snapshot for the default username and password of Kali, because if you mess things up or you just forgot the password, you don't have to install the whole virtual machine again from the beginning. See you in the next lecture. Bye-bye. Hello. In this lecture, I'm going to show you how to install the extension pack. Extension pack is a very important part of the virtual box in order to enable this feature here. As you see here, enable USB 2 and 3 devices, enable virtual RDP for remote desktop, the disk encryption, the feature called NVMe that's found most probably in the non-volatile memory such as the SSD cards. Here you see the PXE, the boot that is used by the NIC. There's a protocol called NIC that allows the devices in a network to boot through the NIC, the network interface card, and instead of booting from the hard disk or the CD-ROM, for example. And to read more about this feature and about the extension pack here, we can check this link and this link. And extension pack is very important because it will allow our virtual machine to work exactly like you have a physical machine, and then you can attach a USB to it. You can use other features like you see here, the disk encryption in the virtual RDB later on. Alright, so you might have noticed that there was a disk encryption feature in USB while I'm opening the virtual box, like here. If I'm just here opening the settings, and you've seen that there was a disk encryption here, and you've seen that here the USB 2 and 3, because they actually more advanced than the USB 1. Let me just go through installing the extension pack. By the way, I already have installed here before. I'm gonna close this, and here you see the extension pack, all support platforms. Once you click on all support platforms here, it will start downloading. Now I have it downloading here, see, in this folder with the VirtualBox source. And by the way, I log in to my Windows machine here, or to my Windows hosting machine, with a standard user. I didn't log in with an admin user. And for you, for security reasons, do not ever log in with your admin user all the time, because this will increase the security risk and make your machine more vulnerable to such attacks, because the attacker will have an admin access if they got an access to one of the processes in your machine. Okay, so it's better always to use standard user. Only use the admin user for admin needs. Okay, and here you see, if I double click on this, it will run this virtual machine with the standard user. An extension pack will never be installed with the standard user. If I just try to install it here, okay, I agree, it will fail because it needs an admin privilege. But if you already log in with an admin user in your Windows hosting machine, just simply double click on it and then it will be installed automatically without no issues at all. If you log in with a standard user and you need to install without logging to your admin user, you simply run the CMD here from this CMD here, the command prompt here with the run as administrator. And now I just enter my password, and you see here I simply copy this and open the CMD again. And just CD stands for change directory, and simply right click once and then enter. Now I change to this directory to the virtual machine here to VM, and then I know that this called Oracle VM here, so simply I type the first 3 letters, and then press on the tab button on your keyboard, then I press enter. See, the virtual machine with the admin privilege is running now, okay? And I click on reinstall. If it is the first time you install the VirtualBox and the extension pack, this will be installed. But it's the same steps, okay? Just here, scroll till the end for the I agree button to work. Now it's being installed. And now it's being installed, and now you have all the features. Simply close this VirtualBox window, and once I open the standard one here, you will have all these features running, and then you can enjoy the whole features like you're having a real physical machine. See you in the next lecture to create our first snapshot. Bye-bye. Creating a snapshot is really easy. You simply need to click on the take button here, and then a snapshot will be taken from this machine. Simply select the machine. If you have many machines here, you simply need to select this. For example, I just go here and select it like this and click on the take button. You can take a snapshot for this machine while it is powered off, or you can run it here. Just simply run it. Now here it's running, and we know that the default username and password is Kali. So in here, I just minimize it like this. I need to click on the take button here, and you can name it here like after installation. That's it. And if you want to add any more description, you can add descriptions here. You can leave a description if you want, but just click on OK for now. Here, it's taking snapshot here, and now we took a snapshot. So if I just here close this machine here, force close it from here, power off, and after installation, just click on this and click on restore, And here it asks you to create a snapshot for the current machine state. No, I do not need it. So you simply click on restore, and now you see here it's marked as saved. Once you click on it, you see it's opening from where we did take a snapshot. When you take a snapshot, you take it from the state that you are exactly in. So later on, if you tampered with your machine or played around with it and you did things mistakenly or just got attacked, you can simply run or restore it to a previous snapshot to get to a clean state that your machine was not harmed or not affected. So it is actually a very good feature. By the way, we see here set with the default username and password and it's not secure at all. You simply need to change that later on. I will show you how in the next lecture, and then you can create another snapshot after you set a password for Kali in order for you to be secure and only you can be logging. And then you simply need to remove this by clicking on delete here. You create another snapshot, but first of all, take a snapshot with the default username and password, because if you messed up with things and it's not running anymore, you simply restore back to the state. Simply go back to this state, alright? I will teach you in the next lecture how to change the password for Kali and the password for root, and then you can create another snapshot for that state. See you in the next lecture. Bye bye.